Hi and welcome to Continent 8's Ask the Expert series. This is where we talk to thought leaders and experts in iGaming, online sportsbook, for their views on what's innovation that's going on in the space and what new technology changes there are. Today I'm joined by Michael Jack from Sportingtech to cover some of the challenges he's navigated in cybersecurity and cloud. Michael, would you like to introduce yourself?
Thank you, Justin. Michael Jack, and I'm the Chief Technology Officer at Sportingtech. I've been in iGaming 18 years, straight out of university, and really exciting industry to be involved in.
Cool, thank you. So we're talking about cybersecurity and cloud. Predominantly, I want to start off with cybersecurity. Obviously, it's a significant threat in the industry. We've seen some high-profile attacks, so the outcomes of people not looking after their cybersecurity in the last couple of years, both land-based and online. For yourself, you now take an outsourced, managed cybersecurity service from Continent 8. What were the challenges or reasons that you were first looking in the market for that kind of support or that kind of outsourced delivery?
Sure. First of all, part of it was regulatory obligation. We had a requirement for entering a particular jurisdiction where we had to have a SIEM and somebody to analyze the data that's in the SIEM, so the SOC. In terms of why we looked at an outsourced partner, it was simply a question of looking at the economics of the situation, the economy of scale, the amount I pay Continent 8 for the product. It's far, far cheaper than I could build it myself internally, without a doubt.
Okay. And from an experience of kind of onboarding engagement with Continent 8, how long was the process, and was it difficult, hard? Was there anything that came out of it that you kind of was a lesson learned, or was it a pretty smooth process?
It was a really interesting onboarding process because we did a proof of concept initially, and that kind of just naturally rolled into the onboarding. Like you've got to do your due diligence on any technology or platform that you use. So we actually started integrating, ingesting production logs into the SIEM, having SOC raise cases on it, and it just kind of naturally rolled from the proof of concept into the full-blown integration.
Quite beyond the original benefits of needing that regulatory approval, is there anything else that you gained, or is any benefit from that managed service once it was implemented?
Yeah, without a doubt. The regulatory piece was only a small portion for us. It was the implicit increased level of security you get from the SIEM and having the SOC looking at that, whether it be, crawls and scans coming from malicious IPs that we then end up blocking, or even think about our corporate estate. We've got our Office 365, information being ingested into the SIEM. We will get, alerts and notification contact from the SOC saying, should this particular user be downloading this many files out of Office 365? We're in the process of integrating our endpoint. So we use Microsoft Defender on our endpoints, laptops and stuff. And we're in the process of having all that ingested into the SIEM as well, that added protection of making sure the devices are being used for what they're intended to.
Yeah, so it's not just the production environment, it's the corporate one that you're also managing to protect. Yeah. Okay, from a bit of a shift in subject matter, you guys are on a kind of private cloud or a virtualized infrastructure. We know that it's been a challenging year from a VMware post-Broadcom acquisition. I understand that you guys faced a similar challenge. Can you just give me a kind of quick what that was, how it occurred, and what you've done about it since then?
Sure, absolutely. Primarily, the challenge was the concern of increased costs wherever possible. Like cost control is really important for any technology leader. And money is finite, and I want to spend it on, value add things. And the feeling was, didn't want to pay the increased VMware costs. So we worked closely with Continent 8 to migrate all of our estate off of VMware onto AHV, the Nutanix hypervisor. We already use Nutanix hyperconverged infrastructure, so it made sense to use the hypervisor that fits well with that. Not only that, though, the expertise that Continent 8 have. I mean, we at Sportingtech didn't do the majority of the hard work. It was the cloud team within Continent 8 that did the majority of the hard work for the actual migration. The input there was like, the project would not have been a success if it weren't for, the efforts of the Continent 8 cloud team.
From a task perspective, though, it's a live migration. Was there significant downtime, no downtime? How long did it take? How big was the kind of job, I suppose?
I mean, this was the tail end of last year. I believe a lot of time went into the planning, but actually the movement of virtual machines, the carving out of the nodes to create the Nutanix cluster, so that we had, for a period of time, we're running with VMware and Nutanix, and as we drain one and we hydrate the other, kind of the number of nodes in each shifted.
So from a cloud migration perspective, was there significant downtime, or was the project length long? How did that kind of work for you?
Yeah, so significant amount of time went into planning to make sure the project went well. Very little downtime associated with the project. Any downtime there was due to complexities in application architecture and not the platform we were moving to. No, it was complexities in our
Not the actual transfer of the virtual, but what you ran in the applications.
Absolutely.
Okay.
There are some stateful services that we don't run active. There were certain areas high-risk areas where we said, we'd rather take a really short maintenance window for this than do it during uptime. But the large majority of the platform was all moved during uptime. No noticeable impact to any of our operators.
Cool, sounds good. Thanks for joining us for this episode. Thanks for taking time in our special off-site location. Nice to spend some time with you.
Thank you for having me.
Join us for other episodes at continent8.com/asktheexpert.